Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to Breaking Dawn, guys. I am back. I'm back with you guys. Sorry about the last couple of days. It's been an absolute terrible ordeal for myself, but I am back. Everything is all gravy and we're back where we should be, guys. The show must go on. The roller coaster must go on, of course, guys. That is what it's all about. Of course, Manchester United played yesterday. Man United lose yesterday. I mean, how many times have we said this season in regards to the league? We lose. You know, the Premier League, we've lost too many games in the Premier League. When we think, you know, what I would say about yesterday, I mean, I did catch the game, of course. What I would say is that, you know, we missed chances yesterday, and it was not for the want of trying. We did have the most chances. We did have the best chances in the game. We were the better team in the game. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And as we know, football is about putting the ball in the back of the net, of course. Let's get back to some of your comments, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see Sanjay. Shah, how many times have I encouraged a win and with players mastermind? This is the whole, exactly, Shah. This is the whole issue with Man United at the moment with this team. You cannot underestimate the effect that the players have on basically results. Some people like to ignore that. Some people just want to blame Ruben Amorim for the world ending, you know. To be honest with you, excuse me, to be honest with you, with this team, I felt like, for example, no one could talk about Garnacho didn't cross the ball yesterday. He should have 3 assists yesterday. But unfortunately, Rasmus can't get on the end of the crosses. So what's going on there? You know, at the end of the day, as you said, Ruben Amorim coached the winning. Look, the problem with this team, the games that are 50-50, right? We seem to come out on the losing side all the time. You know, those games that are tight, 0-0, why is it always us that loses the game? You know, why is it always us that struggle to win the game? You know, why is that? And that for me is important. Big up, Sharp. The Amorim outers were quiet on Thursday. Now they're back. Mate, it's the same with everything, isn't it, Sharp? It's a bit like, you know what, with the Garnacho situation. When Garnacho does something good, you know, they be quiet. When he does something bad, they're all up in arms. They're crazy, stupid people, mate. Sure, they're stupid. They don't understand football. You know, they don't understand what's going on. It's not only that, they refuse to understand what's going on at the football club. They refuse to learn about what the fundamental issues are at this football club. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. When Garnacho doesn't pass, they moan, but when he does, they still moan. What else can he do? Look, it seems to me, I mean, let's not forget who set up Ugarte's goal against Lyon in midweek. It was Garnacho. You know, they just want to moan about everything. They have their narratives against people. And the mark of a smart person is someone who can change their opinion based on evidence. If you can change your opinion based on evidence, then you know what, you're smart, you're intelligent. You know, your agenda is put to the back seat. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I don't like agendas in football. I don't like people who just, you know, have their opinion, they stick by it, and that is by it. But this whole Amorim out thing, it's sickening because the guy, look, yesterday we played our reserves yesterday. We had Fredrickson and Amas, who for me were brilliant. To be honest with you, but we had our reserves out yesterday. The only criticism I would have as in general is that I wouldn't play Eriksson or I wouldn't play Lindelof. And the reason I wouldn't play those two is because they are leaving the football club. So they wouldn't want to risk getting injured, which will obviously hamper their chances of getting a move to another football club at the end of the day. So, you know, that's the only issue. But when I look at the performance and I look at the team performance yesterday, Man United should have won. Man United should have won the game yesterday. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what do you want Ruben Amorim to do? Ruben Amorim sets up a team to win. And if they can't put the ball in the net, that is not Ruben Amorim's fault. He opened up the door for, look, at the end of the day, he puts the team out there tactically. It's working, you know? And it's definitely not a tactical thing. As people were telling me hundreds of thousands of times before, it's definitely not a tactical thing. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So there it is. Big up, Pearl. What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. How rare to have online comment like yours. Wow, players masterminded defeat. The Amram haters will. Yeah, it's something I mentioned before, Pearl, last week. I don't know if you're listening. Absolutely. But yeah, they do mod, and that's what they do every week sometimes, most of the time. And, basically, it is a quote that was used by Mark Goldbridge the first time. And basically, I would say that it's true. It's a true quote, and, at the end of the day, when we mastermind a defeat, the thing is Man United can't turn draws into tight games into wins. They turn tight games into losses. When a game is 50-50, you can either one way or the other way. We seem to go the wrong way all the time. When I was raised in Man United, when the games were tight, we used to get those 1-0 wins. We used to get the tight game wins. You know what I mean? We used to get those wins. And nowadays, we don't. Nowadays, we more or less lose the game. We lose the game rather than win the game, which is ridiculous, guys. Absolutely. And so look, you know what? We lost the game. It isn't the end of the world. I do struggle to see where our next Premier League win is going to come. The most important thing is the Europa League. The most important thing is the Europa League, and that is all I care about. And basically, this league is finished, guys. The league is done. I'm not really basically. This is basically like, if the league is finished, like I don't like saying it. I hate throwing in the towel, right? Which basically means giving up. But I've given up on the Premier League. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. We do what we have to do, and that is it at the end of the day. And we just have to go through the motions until next season. We have to win this Europa League, guys. No matter what, we have to win this Europa League. We have to beat Athletic Bilbao. We have to beat them. And I firmly believe that we will beat them. I believe that we will beat them. But we have to have a fit, full squad of players there, of course, guys. Absolutely. Shah, we're a better team, but we can't even score. Look, at the end of the day, we need a striker. No one denies that. It's pretty obvious what we need. Basically, what I would say is that we have to buy a striker in the summer, and it has to be a striker that is experienced. It has to be a striker that is proven to put the ball in the back of the net. At the moment, we don't have anyone like that. We don't have anyone who's proven to put the ball in the back of the net. This is the worry I have with Man United going forward, is that we don't have anyone to put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, Rasmus, fair play to him, but he's just not cutting it at the level that we need, of course. He's not cutting it. Paul, that's why I love Stretford Post fan home base. People have the proper perspective. We have the perspective because, look, we're not going to get success if we go by the logic of some of those other fan channels. Some of those other fan channels are obsessed with creating sensationalism and ridiculous narratives that so they can go viral, and they have themselves screaming and spitting at the camera and everything like that, to be honest with you. And it is just it annoys me because, you know what, they have big platforms and people listen to their garbage. And I would say that, what happens is that this garbage resonates. It goes around, of course, and it contagious. You know what I mean? And and that people end up going, "Oh, Amram out. Amram's not that guy. Amram's out." Who is that guy then? No one can do anything with these players, mate. No one can do anything with these players. What are you talking about? No one is going to do anything with these players. You know what I mean? Nobody. It's ridiculous. That's it. Excuse me. Need a drop of water there. Sal, we must be allergic to the Premier League. Look, well, this season is definitely a no-no this season. And to be honest with you, it's happened because there's been a combination of problems that have been happening all the way since the beginning of the season. We've had problems with, obviously, Erik ten Hag. We've had the off-field problems as well. We've had a manager come in with a distinctive style of play. who didn't get any of his players in, didn't get anyone. You know what I mean? He wanted to come at the end of the season, but he came in mid-season. They said it's now or never, says Ineos. And he ended up coming in the mid-season, a manager with a distinctive style of play, which is, and then you decide not to back him in January, not fully, and then you get rid of 3 players. You bring in 1, which wasn't his by anyway. And you know what? Then you expect him to make miracles. At the moment, he's got us to the Europa League semi-final, which is so far so good, of course, guys. Absolutely. Shah, yesterday sums up a need for an experienced striker. No, go for Delap. We worked well with Wilkes, and he's cheap. He's not going to get us to where we want to be, Shah. Delap is not going to get Man United to the levels that we need to be. I think he'd be a little bit better than Rasmus. I think Rasmus is a lost cause at the moment. Rasmus running around like a little bit like a headless chicken at the moment. So everyone knows my stance on Rasmus. Everyone knows I've been supporting Rasmus all the way from the beginning, and I felt like it's a little bit unfair because he doesn't get the service. But yesterday, I saw 3 crosses go into the box that he could have got. If he really wanted it, he could have got those crosses in the back of the net. Unfortunately, he didn't. It's sad in regards to Rasmus, but I think, you know what, he needs to have a loan. Something like that, maybe go on loan to another football club at the end of the season, see how he does in another league, and maybe rebuild his career, so to speak, then come back to Man United. Who knows? What do you think about Joe Bellingham? He's trending on his brother's name, or he could be a brawler. Look, Almac, you make a good point there. Joby Bellingham, you know what? Is he riding on his brother's name? No, I think he's a good player. Is he going to get Man United to a level? I don't know. He's playing in the Championship, Players always look better in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? So we have to look at that as well. You know what I mean? We can't just sign him because, it's his brother. He's got the same genes. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just because Arnold Schwarzenegger can lift bloody 100 kgs doesn't mean that his brother can. Do you know what I mean? If you know what I mean. So, excuse me. Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. I wouldn't mind. Look, I trust Ruben Amorim, but I don't think that would be a Ruben Amorim signing. I think that would be an Ineos signing. If they went after Joby Bellingham, I'm sure that Ruben Amorim doesn't really have a clue about Joby Bellingham. But you know what? It will be an Ineos signing. But Delap, Joby Bellingham, Tyler Dibbling, and these type of players, are they going to elevate Man United to the levels that we need to be? Are they going to make Man United better? I don't know. Because you're going to look at Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City. They're all going to sign big players. You know what I mean? Man City spent 200 million in January. You know what I mean? And they're going to spend some more again. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Shah, I wonder what the spin would be today. Made this new contract. It's like a new sign. Oh, mate, trust me. I won't get it. Shah, you know what? I know what they're going to do, in regards to Kobe Mainoo and his contract negotiations, stuff like that. It's just, I always like a new signing. Yeah. Man United need about 10 new players, guys. I'm not even exaggerating. They need about 10 new players. They need 10 out, 10 in. That's what Man United need, and it is a blessing, a godsend. We need it. It's like a something that's been needed to happen for a very long time. You know what I mean? And it's something that we need to obviously do, but we don't do it. We always do bits, like we do a bit here. We don't fix the whole thing. But as I said, it's not just a footballing problem. It's not just what happens on the pitch, guys. This is something that happens from the top, and it's resonating all the way to the bottom. And I'll give you an example. That players down tool where they think they can down tool. Man United players get too comfortable, right? When they feel like they don't need to win, they won't win, right? When there's nothing riding on the game, they won't give their all effort. You know what I mean? Like we went from the game against Lyon to the game yesterday, and it's complete contrast, wasn't it? Morning, Chow. Morning, everyone. People will stay Flick out. Will say Flick out, Alonso out. All this is the culture issue reflected by the owner. Chow, very smart comment. Exactly. This is exactly what it is. It is a culture issue, and it's something I've been banging the drum about for a long time. We have a cultural problem at this football club, and it comes from the top, and it resonates all the way to the bottom. And this is something that we must address rather than just throwing the manager under the bus all the time. You know what I mean? It would be Flick out. It would be Alonso out. You know what I mean? No one in this footballing hemisphere can fix the problems whilst the issue or culturally as they are at this football club. Luckily, we got Ruben Amorim, who's trying to change this culture at this football club. Why did he get rid of Anthony? Why did he get rid of Rashford? You know, he's trying to change the culture. He dropped Luke Shaw out of the squad. Natty, what's going on? Athletic Bilbao game yesterday, they were very solid defensively. How we score. Every game is different. Didn't they lose 1-0 to Real Madrid, wasn't it? Or something like that. I didn't see the game. Didn't they lose 1-0 to Real Madrid or something like that? Wasn't it like that? I'm not too sure. Even when Chido came on, his overall play was not bad, but never seemed to get the service whenever he comes on. Look, let me tell you something, Sharp. Certain strikers, and I'm not making excuses for strikers, right? But I have to say this. Ruud van Nistelrooy got the ball from the middle of the pitch and run past every single Fulham player and buried it in a corner. Sometimes you've got to make things happen for yourself. Get that ball, make something happen. A striker doesn't need to always get the ball to his feet to score. A striker can make something happen for himself. A striker can get the ball, grab the ball from the middle of the park, run himself and shoot one into the top corner. I don't see that these days with these players. What's going on? A striker is not pass me the ball, I tap it in. Do something special. Make something happen. Harry Kane does that. He goes deep to get the ball. He goes deep to get the ball, doesn't he, Harry Kane? This is what he does. Our players just want to stand in the box, wait for the ball. It's unfortunate. Good morning, Triple M. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Can we change the team more for Bournemouth because Athletic do not play at a weekend? I think we'll change the team, definitely. We have to. But, the thing is, we changed the team yesterday quite a lot. We had a lot of different players in there. There's only a few players that played, you know. I'm a bit worried about this. I'm not worried, but I'm a little bit concerned about where we're going to get the next Premier League win from. I don't think we're going to win another game right now in the Premier League. But I would say that, you know what, concentrate on the Europa League and we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right. Again, we shouldn't worry about them. Nico Williams might miss the game, by the way. Nico Williams has an injury, of course. So that is something to keep an eye on, guys. Absolutely. Let me just write this down. So, guys, I'm going to write a poll on YouTube. So I'll just write, let me just get this up. If it comes up, if bloody comes up, let me see. If I can refresh this page. I'll leave that for now. Yeah, so Shah, our next two fixtures for Brentford, I don't see it. I don't either. I don't. Is Nico available for the Europa League first leg? It's like this at the moment, Natty. It's like this. Maybe, maybe not. I would, if I was a betting man, I'll say that he's not going to play in that game, which is big news for Man United. Look, Athletic Bilbao have the fourth best defensive record. I think fourth or fifth best defensive record in Spain. But they're not unbeatable, guys. They're not unbeatable. They're not some, you know, we play better teams in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't have to worry about that. Sure. Sal, do you think we might need two strikers if we sell alone Rasmus? I think more strikers, the better, but we're not going to get two strikers because Man United needs so many positions. As I said, we need 10 players. Man United needs so many positions that they'll probably get a striker, might get a number 10. We need a right wing back. We need a midfielder. We need another defender. We need a goalkeeper. You know, there's a lot of things going on that we need. I don't think we're going to overspend on one position, so to speak. But with more strikers, the better. I think we need 2-3 strikers. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we have only if Rasmus goes, but if we keep Rasmus on the bench, you know, we can keep him on the bench and maybe he can learn from the striker. But there is news coming out of the media, obviously, this last couple of few hours in regards to the striker for Manchester United. And this striker is, obviously, here we are, Victor Osimhen. Now, Victor Osimhen is apparently agreement has already been signed for Victor Osimhen to join Manchester United this summer. According to Africa Foot, which is a reliable source from Africa, apparently Victor Osimhen is going to be a Manchester United player. Now, how much of seriousness you put in this, that's entirely up to you, how you feel about this. But you know what? He's my first choice. He is my first choice. But it does conflict. He does give. I mean, he does obviously have subjectively give a different. People do give different opinions about him. I like him as a player. I think he will score goals for Man United, in my opinion. He definitely will. I feel that. But yeah, definitely. Victor Osimhen has signed basically already been signed for agreement has already been signed. I don't know about an agreement has already been signed. I don't think that can happen. I don't think agreements can be signed. I think there might be a verbal agreement, something like that. You know, a gentleman's agreement, if you know what I mean, something like that. But you know, we'll have to wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens in regards to that. Let's wait and see. We'll have to wait and see in regards to that. But it is interesting. Definitely interested indeed. But you know what? He is going to be leaving Napoli, definitely. That is something that is pretty obvious. Let's have a look. Where were we? Amak. Is Tyler Fredrickson ahead of Godwin Gokonki? Is a prize Gokonki hasn't even an opportunity. I mean, unless you watch youth football, Amak, we wouldn't know, would we? At the end of the day, Fredrickson might be better than Gokonki, you know, just because Gokonki's tall, big unit, you know what I mean? And he might not be good enough, you know? There's a reason that Amaran put Fredrickson instead of Gokonki. And I trust Amaran. And I felt that Fredrickson done fantastic yesterday. And I felt that my man of the match yesterday, guys, was Harry Amas. And I told these men about Harry Amas. I told you he's physically ready. He's not physically ready. He's not physical. The guy was immense yesterday, Harry Amas. What a performance from Harry Amas yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. Why did we get Diego Leon when we got Harry Amas? And exactly what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? And Dorgu. Big up, Michael. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. We can't sing 20 times anymore. It's sad. I know. Yes, we can. We can sing 20 times. We won it 20 times without killing anyone. We won it 20 times. Credit to the two youngsters, Amas and Fredrickson, but Amas was my man of the match. Amas was by far man of the match. Is Ahmad available for first leg? No, mate. He won't be available for the first leg. It'll be second leg if we're lucky. Definitely. Hopefully, he'll be back very soon. We will support. we the supporters should keep calm and trust the coach. Absolutely, Michael. We should tell those fan channels, Michael, that they need to keep their calmness and relax and bloody cool their jets. That's what they need to do. Is cool their bloody jets. That's what they need to do and chill out. Absolutely. Get Ralph Ragnick back to do what he meant to do. 10 players in, and absolutely, he should have been in the backroom staff. Take it with a pinch of salt, as they say. Yep. The Osimhen news, in my opinion, is an agent news story. I don't believe it, but I would love Osimhen. We'll have to wait and see. It could be agent driven. It could be. It seems interesting that we're basically this news has come out in the blue that we have an agreement. I don't know about that. I just don't know. I would love the Osimhen signing. It's just that the money involved is going to be difficult for Man United to do that deal. I just feel like that. I've got that feeling that, yeah, I would love Osimhen, but the deal is going to be difficult to do because, you know, the money's going to be too astronomical, of course. Agent user Man United generate interest. Could be. Who knows? Sal, is it possible that Rasmus is the worst striker United have bought in their lifetime for a large amount? Refusal to pass to Torgu was the final straw for some loyal fans. When you weigh it up, Joel Sir George, he is one of Man United's worst signings at the moment. You have to say that in regards to the amount of money we pay for him, the output that we're getting at the moment. His first season was pretty decent. He wasn't that bad. He scored 16 goals, didn't he? But at the moment he's looking pretty bad. And I would say that as a guy who wanted him to do well. I wanted him to do well. I wanted him to score, and I want him to prove everyone wrong, and I want him to be great for Man United. But it just seems like he's missing. I don't know. It's not confidence. I mean, but when we got to stop this now. Like, he's not lack of confidence. Mate, get your act together. You're playing for Manchester United at the end of the day. Do something on that pitch. Make something happen, for crying out loud. It's driving me mad. The fact that we've only got Osimhen. No, we've only got, I wish we had Osimhen. The fact we've only got Rasmus at the moment as a striker, it fills me with dread. You know what I mean? Because he's not scoring goals. You know what I mean? And for goodness sake, he seems like he's just not a footballer now. He's like, he doesn't know what to do. He's just running, and he's not doing anything. And he needs to do more, in my opinion. We need De Ligt back for the semi-final. I can't stand Lindelof. I don't think Lindelof should be playing. Shaw, he's leaving the football club. And Eriksen, I don't think they should be playing. I think it's a risk playing those two. I think playing Eriksen and Lindelof was a mistake. Absolutely. Ciao. I don't believe United source until Ornstein Bomber. F Ornstein, mate. F Ornstein Bomber. Nothing to do. I don't care about Ornstein, mate. Some of us know things more than Ornstein as well. I'm starting to lose more faith on Rasmus. Me too. You know what I mean? As long as managers do not buy what they want to sell, it will be difficult to be successful for any managers. Absolutely. As long as managers do not buy what they want and sell, it will be obviously that's what we want, isn't it? And Man United need to get rid of about 10 players and bring in 10 players, which I don't think is going to happen, but it's something that Man United need to do. We're too slow. Xerxes' injury put us a little bit. I mean, look, you know what? At the end of the day, we can't score goals, and we haven't been scoring goals with Xerxes. Even with Ahmad, we haven't been scoring goals. To be honest with you, so we need to score goals, and I don't know why we're not scoring. We didn't score goals last season. You know what I mean? That was a big issue as well. We didn't score goals last season, and we're not scoring goals this season. So obviously, that's a problem that Man United are having at the moment. And if we can get an experience like Gutierrez or Osimhen is ideal. But, are they going to do that? Or are we just going to get Delap? Delap is exciting, all right? If Delap is exciting, if Man United bring in an experienced striker next to Delap, right? That is something you do when you buy. You got someone experienced in there already, and then you bring in, you know what I mean, a young player as well who's up and coming. But we got Musa. We got good young players. We got Musa. We got Chido. So why do we need bloody Delap? You know what I mean? Let's get an experienced striker in there. You know what I mean? Let's get someone who can put the ball in the back of the net, who's proven he can put the ball in the back of the net. Let's do something. That of course. The Amramounds are comparing us to Wolves relegation. The manager didn't need the players and the policy. No, the thing is they're stupid. They're stupid. They're thick. They're thick as anything. They don't understand what's going on in the football club. They don't understand the difference between Wolves and Man United. Thick as chips, mate. Absolutely stupidity. We need to win the Europa League. Come on, United. Let's go. We're going to win the Europa League. I hope so. We're going to win the Europa League. Absolutely. I believe we can. Beating Athletic Bilbao. If we beat Athletic Bilbao, I believe Man United will win the Europa League. I believe Man United win the Europa League if we beat Athletic Bilbao. I think the confidence will be high if we do that. I'm confident we could beat Tottenham in the final. I'm confident. Hopefully it's Bodo Glimt and not Tottenham. Hopefully. I think Tottenham will go through. But I hope that Man United play Bodo Glimt instead of Tottenham. But hopefully we get through against Athletic Bilbao first things first. Do you want Tottenham or Bodo Glimt? I want Bodo Glimt, mate. Obviously, Natty, I want Bodo Glimt. But if we get Tottenham, bring Tottenham on. Tottenham are bottlers. We shouldn't worry about Tottenham. Tottenham don't win anything. Tottenham don't win trophies. Tottenham lose. You know what I mean? And hopefully Man United do played Bodo Glimt, but if we play Tottenham, we just have to bring it on. But first things first, we got to beat Athletic Bilbao. For me, Athletic Bilbao is harder than Tottenham and Bodo Glimt, in my opinion. That is a harder game than Tottenham or Bodo Glimt. So if we can beat Athletic Bilbao, I think we should be very confident in beating Bodo Glimt or Tottenham. Ciao. The current regime wants youth projects. Too many. You can't win anything like that. You can't win anything like that. You need a few experienced players in there. You need experienced players, as I've always brought in about the class of 92. I've always said that. The class of 92 came in. They had the likes of Andy Cole, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, Steve Bruce, Dennis Irwin, Peter Schmeichel. This team hasn't got that sort of character in it. So when you bring in young players, you need a few very experienced players, like proven players who can guide the young players. Yesterday, I saw Harry Amas. He was way above his years. Brilliant. I said Harry Amas should have played a long time ago. Maybe would have saved money on Dorgu. You know what I mean? Because Harry Amas, I said that was good enough a long time ago. And to be honest with you, I think he's going to be one of our better left backs. Now we got three. We got Amas, Dorgu, and Diego Leon coming in the summer. Luke Shaw is still at the football club as well. Let's not forget that. Tyra Malacia is still at the football club. And let's remember that. We're going all Beyonce. To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. And we need to get rid of a couple of those left backs. We're a bit heavily stacked in that position now. I never thought I'd say that. Absolutely. The Wolves squad was built for the system. Do those people really not understand football properly, or do they just have an Mate, it's not only that, Shah. You're right. It's not only that, though. It's the fact that Wolves are Wolves. The pressure is not on Wolves to do anything spectacular. The pressure is on Man United. They're thick. Man United players are not good enough in general. Man United don't have a good team. Man United need about 10 new players. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Man United, I can count of De Ligt, Mazraoui, Euro. Let's forget about the young players at the moment, right? No young players. Euro, Dorgu, Ugarte, Mainu, Ahmad, Garnacho, maybe. And that's about it. When you look at that, and Bruno, maybe 9 players there that you would say can stay, but if that, and then we need to get a squad. So we need to get about, in my opinion, 5 to 10 new players. Absolutely. Osman Cherki, Delap, Kimmich, any good? Kimmich, I'm not sure about. I'm a bit old. Osman Cherki, I would love Cherki, mate. Osman, yeah, I love that, mate. Delap, no. We're not going to get two. We're not going to get Delap and Osman, mate. Definitely not. But Osman, I would like. Cherki, I would like. And that's it out of them, yeah. Kimmich would be good, but Kimmich would be Kimmich would be good. It'd add experience to our squad, definitely. A little bit concerned about his pace and stuff, but yeah. More like crinkled chips. What's that? Big up. Fans who are happy we did not get Garassi are now looking at like mugs for 18 million. We showed how a net the recruitment is. I mean, let me tell you something about goals of Georgia. I mentioned Doué in the summer. I said we should sign Doué. And look at Doué at PSG. Is Aiden have an injury serious? No, it's not serious. He'll be back in a couple of weeks, I think. He'll be back. He had a little setback on his injury, of course, which, you know what, it's a knock. He's a young player. We're going to have to be careful. We have to bring him in slowly, but he's doing fine. He's doing fine. Don't worry about that. Big up, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. And happy Easter, of course. Big up. I hope you had a good Easter, guys. I hope you had a good Easter. I didn't. I was sick. I was on my sick bed. I was sick this last 2 days, guys. A few days. It seems like forever I haven't done a stream, but I was sick. I wasn't well. I had the flu. I still got the flu. Can't you tell? But you know what? Without an arm, I will give you content. Without an arm, I will give you content. Even if I had no arms, I'll still give you content. I'll still do it. I'll find a way to type that keyboard. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I had the flu and I wasn't too well. You know what I mean? I was actually really bad. And to be honest with you, thank God I recovered and I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's just the way of life, isn't it? Big up. If we can get Osman, we can immediately sell Hoyland. Xerxes will be good backup striker, and Obi must come through. Not only Obi as well, Musa as well. Let's not forget he scored 6 goals for the youth team the other day, didn't he? Yeah, absolutely. Look, sometimes you have to cut your losses. All right. And I don't like saying that often, but sometimes you have to cut your losses and say, look, you know what? Rasmus is not working out. Maybe it's better that we move him on, and that's about it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, Osman will be a good signing for Man United. It's something that we desperately need. People who put their nose up at Osman, you know what I mean? I don't think we're in a position to do that. The thing is, can we get Osman? Is Osman, too expensive? That is the problem that we're looking at. You're looking at 62 million. It's a lot of money. Thank you so much. The rubbish of youth but no experience must be absolute. Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay. Big up yourself. Thank you, man. I'm getting better. I'm getting there. Sure, yes. Just back up when Osman is out. Yeah, I like Xerxes. The thing is, Xerxes, I like him as a number 10 more. I think he plays better as that number 10 role. I don't know what you think, but I think he plays better as that number 10 role. Definitely, he's a better number 10 than he is like a striker number 9, a primary number 9. In my opinion, I think he's better like that. In my opinion, guys, absolutely. But yeah. You definitely need a striker. Osman will be that guy. Jukiares is that guy. Ruben Amorim did say that they are working on Rasmus. As I said, you can lead a cow to the river, but it doesn't mean he's going to drink from the river. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just don't think he's just. It's something about Rasmus that is not quite clicking, in my opinion. There's something about him that's just not working out the way we all hoped it would work out, unfortunately, guys. But you know what? We'll have to wait and see. Yamal 17 and looks like he's prime good enough. He's old enough. Look, Yamal is playing around experienced players, experienced winners, right? At the end of the day, you cannot have a full 11 with young players, Mark. You can't. If you watch Man United over the years, you can. You understand that. If you had 11 Yamals, you wouldn't win the league, mate. Yamal has experience around him. Experience at Barcelona. Experience at Spain as well. So you can't just say that bringing, 11 young players at Man United in a toxic environment that is Man United, that has been run badly over the last years and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And expect Man United to win things. It doesn't work like that. Football don't work like that, mate. You know what I mean? You can have odd young players, and the older players, the more experienced players, will nurture those younger players, which Barcelona have done with Lamine Yamal. And also Lamine Yamal is a generational. Lamine Yamal is a completely different kettle of fish. He's a generational talent that and you can't paint every young player with the same brush. You can try and play 11 youngsters. You'll see what happens at the end of the day. It won't be pretty. You know what I mean? And as a guy who works in football and stuff like that, I know, because physicality and obviously endurance, it's not the same. Absolutely not. Whenever Xerxes plays number 9, he's sort of never in the game. Yeah, he's better as a false number 9. Absolutely. Number 10 he is. That's absolutely sharp, spot on. Is Mount good enough to play for United? I'm not too sure, mate. I'll be honest, Natty. I'm not too sure about Mason Mount. I've said it for even before we signed Mason Mount. I wasn't too sure about Mason Mount. Mason Mount, I just feel like he's not a Man United player for me. But I hope he proves me wrong. Good morning, Sal. Ferguson, big up, fan. Hope you're doing well. After Ferguson, all experience were left to die out and no replacement. Absolutely, spot on. Sal, how many more points will we get left? I don't know, mate. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 0. I think Man United are going to struggle this next few games in the Premier League. That is what's a little bit worrying for me. I think that the problem is that this fan base are not looking at the contextual facts in regards to Man United this season, and they're not looking at the priorities of Man United this season. They're just looking at their narrative, and they want a manager and this and that and stuff like that at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And it's annoying because we have some intelligent people in this fan base, mostly in this community, but we have some really, really dum-dums. Honestly, I lose hope in these people. Honest to God, I really do. If there was one, came in 1 year left in the tank. Yamal has the likes of Lewandowski, Rafinha experience. Absolutely, there you go, Shaw. It's exactly what it is. No, and these players nurture these players. I mean, you need the experienced players. Why don't every team just get all their youth team and play them in the first team? Why don't they do that? If you got Man United's youth team right now and you put them on the pitch yesterday, they'll lose 6-7-0. In the game versus Wolves, it's clear indication of a shortcoming is the squad depth, and also I realise now we need a striker and creative established centre midfield. We shouldn't be playing Lindelof and Eriksen either. They shouldn't be playing anymore. 5 games to say, we'll mix it up with the team. The Cheeto, all games now in. Cheeto for me is still not ready. I don't think he's not ready. People are saying, bring him in the team. I don't think he's ready either. Man United needs a new striking coach, not one that United player can get 2 shots in a row on target. Ruud van Nistelrooy would have been a good one, wouldn't it, Mark? Yeah, he would have been a good striking coach. Well, after we had him, didn't we? I never thought after the Ole Ragnick season we'd ever have a worse season than that. I mean, hopefully the only way is up, baby. The only way is up. Let's hope that we go up. Let's hope that it gets better, of course. Big up, Sal. This was the best football I've seen in a while. I thought we could have nicked a 1-0 win, but it seems the whole story of mistrust. Absolutely. Okay, big up, Kenny. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Look, you know what? One thing I would say, Kenny, is that, you know what? We don't turn these tight games into wins, do we? We always seem to be on the losing end. Even when we're playing well and the game is tight, we always seem to be on the losing end. You know what I mean? Why can't we be on the winning end for once, for goodness sake? You know what I mean? We always seem to lose the game, and it drives me mad. You know what I mean? We need to obviously try and, you know what I mean, win. You know, try and turn these 0-0s or losses into draws and wins. That's what we need to do at the end of the day, in my opinion. It is annoying. It is frustrating that we lost that game yesterday, because I felt that, absolutely what you said. Man United played okay. They did okay in the game, and I felt that they could have, and perhaps should have won the game. To be honest with you, in my opinion. Also reflects of the past acquisitions were poor. Yep. That Fredrickson kick was rock said. Yeah, brilliant. Fredrickson, big shout out to Fredrickson and Harry and Mass. Look, guys. Yesterday was a problem with strikers, right? Yesterday was a problem with putting the ball in the back of the net. Garnacho should have had 3 assists yesterday, but he didn't put the ball in the back of the net. Rasmus, Mason Mount, Bruno did not put the ball in the back of the net. Rasmus could have had a hat-trick of assists. So let's not blame Rasmus. Garnacho could have had a hat-trick of assists, Garnacho. So let's not blame Garnacho in this. I thought he did all right yesterday. Don't mention Eriksen, please. I'll take the loss, but he was our weakest link. Eriksen, Lindelof, they shouldn't be playing for Man United anymore, fan. They're both leaving the football club. Yeah, Lindelof's contract is expiring in the summer. There's no point playing these players because, look, mentally, when you have players like Lindelof and Eriksen leaving the club, they're not going to want to give their all because they might risk getting injured. And they need to find another football club. So they need to sign for another football club. If they're injured, no other team's going to sign them. So that's why it is counterproductive to play an Eriksen or play a Lindelof. So I don't think we should be playing them. I'd much rather bring a young player in there and play the young player in there rather than playing Lindelof and Eriksen, which is, I think it's insanity. Thank you, Kenny. I feel okay. I'm still trying. I'm pushing the words out, but I was awful, Kenny. I was proper sick. I've had the week from hell, to be honest with you. I've had the week from hell. It's been a bit of a nightmare, guys. And to be honest with you, I spent 2 days in the hospital with my wife, and then I caught the flu in the hospital. So how's your luck? And to be honest with you, that's it. But as they say, I'm okay. I'm not shocked by Lenny Yoro that he's performing really well because he's there actually experienced in defense. I think Lenny Yoro is fantastic. I really do. I think Lenny Yoro is fantastic. Absolutely do. I think he's going to be one of the best. I think he's going to be the best defender in Europe, guys. Some may say that's a bit overzealous, but I do believe that. We have another gem in Fredrickson, absolutely. Let's not forget we got Kakunki coming through as well. Up front, we got Musa, we got Chido, obviously. I still think they need to be nurtured a little bit. This is why we need an experienced striker. But you know what? And we got more House coming through as well. And Man United's future is bright. That's why I don't think we should sign young players, because we got a lot of our own young players. This is the thing. We want to sign their young players from other teams. We got our own young players. Let's bring on some experience now as well. You know what I mean? We got young players. I don't care what the margin is. United lose remaining Premier League games. Who plays? All shit. Premier League anyway. We have 3 games, 270 minutes remaining to win the Europa League. So to get the best team ready. Absolutely, I agree with that, Mark. Spot on. I really hope we don't sell Euro in the future. Yeah, I do. If we stay where we are, if we stay where we are, we're going to lose Euro to Real Madrid. Definitely, we have to get better. Amram is actually doing wrong to be playing players who won't be here next season. Scrap the sentiment shit. You know what, Mark? I agree with that. I don't think he should be playing Lindelof or Eriksson. It is counterproductive. Why don't you just play youngsters in those positions? At least, like Fredrickson and Amas, at least you could find a new player who could be playing for you for years. You don't know if a player comes in and he shines. I don't understand why he did that. I don't understand. He's done that a couple of times. So would you bring on in Nazio? Yes, I would, Shah. Yes, I would. But we got Aiden Heaven now. I believe in Aiden Heaven. I think we should believe in our young players. And you know what? I do believe that. I think we should believe in our young players. Absolutely. Because if we don't believe in them, who's going to believe in them? Absolutely, guys. Who's going to believe in them? Reasonable price, 23-year-olds, and Martinez is aging and is in. Yeah, I would bring him in, but we have Aiden Heaven in there, who I want to develop. I think we do need another defender. I would like to bring Ignacio. He's a good player. Leacher's a little bit of a worry right now because he's injury prone. And the way Leacher plays, he always risks himself getting injured. He always does that. He puts his foot in where it hurts. And I like Leacher, probably one of our best signings, in my opinion. But is he going to be injury prone? Is he going to be injury prone now? Absolutely. It's a problem. We all know this, say long preseason, make use of it. Absolutely, bruv. Big preseason coming up this preseason. Big preseason coming up this preseason. Absolutely. We really should have played a young midfielder, moving Manu up to play Bruno's role. No, he is not the most flexible and need to play in terms of his giving the ball, no balance. I don't believe that Manu's a number 10. I think he's a number 8. I don't believe he's a number 10. Guys, do you think that Maguire must get a new deal or get sold now that is Ronaldo 9, or he will just be shit again after a new deal? Look, Maguire won us the game against Lyon. But is Maguire Man United's future, right? Maguire's been, by all means, one of Man United's better players last few weeks, right? He has. But in my opinion, we need to move on from Maguire. Now, we're not going to play Maguire first team anyway. Maguire won't be the first team player next season. It will be De Ligt. It will be Yoro. It will be Mazraoui, and it will be probably Aiden Heaven as well at the end of the day. So I feel that he will be on the bench next season. He'll be on the bench next season, Maguire. And it's good to have a Maguire on the bench, keep him on the bench. And that is what we have at the end of the day. But it'd be Aiden Heaven, obviously De Ligt, Yoro, Mazraoui, and Leacher. All those players there will be first teamers, of course. Yeah, it's paying back. He didn't cost Man United. He didn't charge Man United 80 million. It was the inept board which paid 80 million for him. That's not Maguire's fault. Leacher was winning us games from the left. Absolutely. You know what? I like Leacher. Leacher's so important to Man United, the way we play. He brings the ball forward from that left-hand side inside, the central defensive area. And he was doing well for us. Unfortunately, it's just his injuries. And can we rely on that in the future? Absolutely. Maguire is a typical I need a new deal player performance-wise. Well, we'll have to wait and see. He saved us in the Europa League, guys. We might have lost on penalties. We had Onana in goal, let's not forget. So we have to be thankful. Mainu, you know, Sal was a striker before at school. So, you know, Mainu, you know, Sal was a striker before at school. So was I. I was a defender. I was a defender at school. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I could play defense for Man United. Maguire's been performing well for the last 2 years, but I will not give him a new deal. He's 32 plus. He's already been given a new deal, mate. He's already been given a new deal. He's already been given a year extension, mate. Yeah. But I wouldn't give him a new deal either. No, I wouldn't have kept him, to be honest. United had to deal Van der Vaart for 70 million chose Maguire. I know, mate. Mark, don't tell me. You're going to make me sick, mate. What pace? I know. Look, Man United need next season. We're going to get a new defender in. Man United will get another defender. Man United, Maguire won't be the first team defender next season. We know that. It's good to have a squad. Man United back in 98, 99 had David May, Hendenberg, you know what I mean? Those type of players. Man United need a squad, you know what I mean? So, you know, we're going to have Maguire on the bench next season. If Maguire's happy to sit on the bench, let him sit on the bench, and then that's it. I wouldn't myself giving him a new contract. I wouldn't have done that myself. But you know what? At the end of the day, like, he's got his new contract already. He's got his new contract, guys. He's got his year's contract. So why is he performing now? He's performing now, and he's got his new contract. He's got it. It's already been done. So at the end of the day, he's staying at Man United and he's playing well. So let's just keep it like that, of course. How do you lose something you ain't got? It's not a new deal, just an extension from his new contract. Yeah, it's an extension. That's it. And that's what he wanted, Chibalena. He's not going to get anything like that after that. 5-minute cameo striker. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, what you have to do is this. All right. Maguire didn't play yesterday, by the way, just so you're aware. The biggest problem at Man United is Lindelof. Obviously, he's not good enough, in my opinion. And I don't think we were that bad defensively yesterday. I thought we were okay. But, you know, at the end of the day, right now, we have to work with what we have. We have to work with what we have. And right now, we have to work with Maguire and players like that, of course. And to be fair, he's done okay. And he's got his new extension or whatever, you know, on his contract. After that extension, I don't think Man United will be keeping Harry Maguire. I don't think they'll be keeping Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire will be gone after that. But we all know that next season, Harry Maguire is not going to be the first choice defender. So I don't know why everyone's crying about Maguire all of a sudden. You know what I mean? It's silly. Silly. Come on. You know what I mean? Maguire won't be playing for Man United every game next season. We got De Ligt, Yoro, Licha, Mazrui, Aiden Heaven, you know, and obviously we're going to bring in another defender as well. We're losing Lindelof, and we're going to be losing Evans as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Mark, you know what? Guys, what do you think about the goal? The Wolves free kick, right? The Wolves free kick. Do you think Onana should have saved it? Personally, let me tell you something, guys. I think Van der Sar or Schmeichel or even De Gea would have saved it. I think they would have saved it. I think they would have saved that shot. I do believe that. Absolutely. Lindelof was known as the Iceman. That how cool he was defense. What went wrong? The ice melted, Mark, and became a melt. Right. And he was given a captaincy. We may well give De Ligt the vice captain. I like De Ligt to captain. Big up, Grayo. What's going on, my friend? I messaged you this morning, Grayo. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. I'm okay, Grayo. I'm still groggy as hell, but I'm pushing through. You know, I'm pushing through it, of course. Absolutely. Mark, Onana is shit. He's fucking standards for I mean, the thing is, what people don't understand, right, is that Onana's positioning is awful. His positioning is awful, and people don't look at that. Oh, he couldn't save that because his positioning is so wrong. That's why he couldn't save that. If he was in the right position And then you know what, he might have been able to give himself a better chance of saving the ball. He's always in the wrong side of the post. He's always on somewhere else. It's ridiculous. Not sure if Rasmus will be around, as I mentioned, next season. He has been very disappointed. So 1 goal in 27 games, fan. Wow, you're playing for Man United. You know, it's just like, you know, that's absolutely diabolical. That's a diabolical return, man. It's a diabolical return. Onana's a clown. There you go. Absolutely. Get rid ASAP. I would get rid of him, man. I would get rid of him. I don't know why anyone's defending him. You know, I've seen great goalkeepers play at this football club. Peter Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar. You know what I mean? I've seen great goalkeepers play at this football club. And Onana ain't it. Onana ain't that guy. He's just not that guy. You know, he just hasn't got that ability to win you games single-handedly. You know, he'll lose your game single-handedly. Yeah, but he won't win the game single-handedly. Absolutely. First striker, then the goalkeeper, please. Yeah. Definitely. Big up Grayo. Big up everyone. Guys, you know what? Has been a difficult one. As I said, you know what? Let me have a look. Onana doesn't want to leave because of his wages. This is a problem Man United have been signing these under before. Obviously, the new regime came in. Man United were offering these astronomical contracts for players like Onana, average players, right? Giving these stupid contracts out to these players, right? Who don't deserve these contracts at the end of the day. And it's testament, not testament, but it is a representation of how we were run over these years with Murto, with Woodward, and all these clowns who used to be at the football club. And you know what? Throwing money at players when they don't deserve it. New contracts should be given based on achievements, not based on vibes. They should be based on achievements. We shouldn't be giving out new contracts to these players like just willy-nilly. That's not how football should work. You know, but over with Murto, with Woodward, we were giving out contracts, stupid contracts that were like 5 years long, 250, 300 grand plus a week. And you know what? Now we're struggling to get rid of those players. No surprise. You know what I mean? No surprise there. We're struggling to get rid of those players. And that is obviously Onana obviously probably gets a massive wage, you know, and he's not going to want to leave, you know, and he's going to want to pay off as well. Mark, Rasmus is the case of having the world on your back as a kid, too much fun for a kid when he came. Yeah, exactly. And it's exactly a representation of why you bring in a young player like Rasmus, you need an experienced striker with him. So you can bring him in gradually. But as you said, Mark, as soon as he came into the football club, he was placed as a number 10 and, you know, as a number 9. And the pressure was put on him, all on his shoulders. You know what I mean? You are the main striker. You score goals. When you look at his career in Atalanta, etc., he hasn't scored a lot of goals. He's still young. You know what I mean? And we were expecting him to come to the Premier League and score lots of goals. We needed to nurture him into the things, of course. New goalkeeper and a striker, then others can follow. We hope so, Chibalem. We need a right wing back, a midfielder, a defender. So, by the way, Onana positioned me angers me. I called my son as he set up the wall and he chose to stand well from the near post. His position was awful. I don't know what I want to talk about him. I know, mate. Fan, you're 100% correct, mate. Shocking. What's shocking, Peter? Big up, Peter. How you doing? What's shocking, mate? Rasmus may need as a second striker and less responsibility to rediscover himself and learn from Osman. So exactly, Mark. I agree with that. And I think we should have done that a long time ago. It's not rocket science, is it, at the end of the day? It's not rocket science, but we seem to make things overcomplicated. Aaron said in an interview a few days ago he's impatient and he wants to see, but people above him are telling him to stay calm and concerned. I mean, we can't stay calm in this situation. Look at what we're doing at the moment. You know what I mean? It's a terrible situation. I just can't wait for this season to be over. If we win the Europa League, season over, get this league campaign over. A draw would have been a fair reflection of Luso Stewart. I think we should have won the game, to be honest, and we just can't put the ball in the net. That's exactly what it is. I think Man United done well, but you know, one thing I would say, fan, is that Man United need to get these 50-50 games and turn them into wins. Like back in the olden days, I talk about the 90s. We used to turn these 0-0s into 1-0s to us. Nowadays, we turn them into 1-0 losses. Like, but that game was so predictable. I could predict even before Wolves got that free kick that we're going to lose the game 1-0. You know what I mean? They're going to get a chance and they're going to pull it away. And it's typical Man United. Ineos 10-year plan, back up, guy. I'm not going to accept 10 years, mate. Some of us won't be here in 10 years. They're crazy. Trying to buy time. It's ridiculous, isn't it? He has to be impatient with them. Yeah, exactly. We are going to have to wait for our youth to develop and hopefully succeed. Does Amron have the patience? They need to go out and put their hand in their pocket. You know what I mean? And they need to stop buying time. Man United should be well. We've already waited. Let's not forget, guys. We waited 12 years for a title, guys. We waited 12 years for a title challenge. What, they're going to make that 22 years? 22 years they're going to wait. Like, come on. You know, they need to stop that buying time business. If they couldn't afford the football club, don't buy the football club. At the end of the day, that is the whole point. They should have bought the football club, but they couldn't afford the football club. They're a disgrace at the end of the day. We are always going to win the Europa League, but not in the best way. I hope we win it. It's going to be a difficult game against Athletic Bilbao. But as I said, if we beat Athletic Bilbao, I think we will win it. Guys. Guys, I want to thank you, everyone who, who messaged me over these last few days in regards to being ill and stuff like that. Definitely, it's been a nightmare week, guys. But thank you, everyone, for your support. Really, really appreciate that, guys. Really appreciate that. And I'm back on the road to recovery, as you can tell. I'm still groggy. I mean, look, listen, guys. If you were sitting in this seat, it's like, whoa. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to keep your notifications on and push the like button if you could do that as well. And if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And guys, please don't forget to smash a like. Helps the video, guys. Thank you so much. The plan is to win the league by 2 in the new Old Trafford. They can go and shove that new Old Trafford up their backside. Oh, you know what I mean? What happens on the pitch is what's most important. They're just absolutely, there's chances, mate. They're just blagging it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, big ups, Algebra. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. I'll try, Triple M. I'll try. Definitely keep your notifications on, and I'll let you know, guys, if I do a chat box today. Definitely. If my throat holds out, then I'll be able to do it, because my throat is an absolute myth at the moment, but I'm definitely getting better, of course, absolutely. Fan, if we don't tackle to win the ball, we have players in circles around us in my positions. I can't understand how player don't go to win the ball with the tackle. It's so sad. I know, mate. We got lethargic players everywhere, all around the pitch. Guys, thank you so much, Fan. Anyway, big up yourself. And thank you for your things and stuff. Drink some lemsic. Nah, I just have some ginger. I'll have some lemon with some turmeric. That is what. Look, guys, I had the flu. Look, 2.5 days. There I am, right here, guys. You know what I mean? Drink ginger, lemon, turmeric, and these kind of things. Luckily, I've got a loving wife who does that for me and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm better anyway. And you know what helps as well? Being fit. Thank God I run 5K a day. I haven't run 5K this last day, but you've got to keep yourself healthy and stuff like that, because running is so important, guys. Just keep running, do your cardio, you'll be all right, and you'll get better. It strengthens you as everything, guys. But thank you, guys, for doing it, for joining me today. I'll see you later for Chatterbox, hopefully. Keep your notifications on. And guys, you know what? It's all about the Europa League, isn't it? It's all about the Europa League. And I just can't wait till that comes along, and then we can forget about this league campaign. I wish the league can end now. I really do wish the league can end now. Unfortunately, it can't. But, we got a few games to go, and hopefully it doesn't get any more uglier than it already is with some. Because some of these fans, they're going to jump on Amram, and they're not going to shut up, isn't it? They're not going to shut up. They're going to keep going on and on and on. The toxicity is just going to grow. So just want the season to be over. Ruben Amram back in the summer. And you know what? We move on to next season. And then after next season, in between next season, we can make an more accurate judgment in regards to Ruben Amram. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a splendid day, morning, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. Peace.